Hello there. In this video we continue exploring Wu, and we're actually going to create some cool island in this video. We're going to utilize techniques we learned in previous videos, and we're actually going to explore some new features. So let's start on this. First, what we're going to do, it is creating the standard terrain. For this, we go to our view on the right, on the left side. In a bar, we're going over our terrain, right click and select standard terrain. I don't want to create procedure terrain because this will be kind of fixed one, and we're also going to utilize a special techniques to add specific shape. Okay, let's take our island, our mountain, whatever it is this point, and we can just put on a top. By default, it's about 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. And if you're interested, you can always click on a side in your object properties, and you can see right here X 1 kilometer, Y 1 kilometer, and it's about 97 meters, about 100 meters, the height of this. Okay, now let's modify something. For this, we go double time click, and we're going to open our terrain editor. In terrain editor, I want to modify this terrain, and let me just scale a little bit up our editor. There you go. I think this looks a little bit better. And I want to modify this and apply it. But for this, I want to use its special image. And by the way, all of those resources for this video, they will be for free available at my Patreon channel. So you can go follow up just and download it from there. It is for the free tier, so you don't need to pay or anything. Just go to register and download it. Okay. You know what? When we start creating, here's a problem, because if our image is 256 by 256, but image what we're going to use it will be about 4,000 pixels, so it's much higher. For having a best resolution with best details, we want to match this resolution, or at least will be maybe a little bit below our map. Of course, if we're going with higher, like 8,000 pixels resolutions or points, it did not want worth for us, because the resolutions of the image we're going to use it as high map. It is only 4,000 pixels. I think it's 4,097, but something like that. Now we can check right here. You can see there's our Highfield, and if we go over, it says 4,097 by 4,097. So we're going to use this image as a high map. And notice we have it all different maps. These maps was generated with the world machine. I have plenty of videos about this. You can check them, and more of course will coming up. But it's what happened in design, deposit, flow, and Highfield. So those three we can use it, and you'll see how. But for now, this Highfield we're going to use to control our terrain. Okay, let's go ahead. Click on terrain editor, and we're going down with the image. Let's click on this image. Actually, oh, you know what? I'm skipping step. Yes, I'm too fast. So let's go to make 4,000 by 4,000. So we'll just make this size. I know it will take a little bit more intense, which is okay. Now we're ready. We go click on import terrain, and right there where it says load, let's click on this. It's open our preload, and right here you can see where we have it like open folder. We need to go click on this, and after we navigate it to right place, we can go ahead and select Highfield. Notice this is a TIFF file. It's mean uncompressed, so for the best resolution. I do not recommend to use JPEG. Mostly it's high compression, because they will have these artifacts which will affect your terrain. And what's happening in the end, you'll see your terrain look like blocky, so it's kind of does not look very good. Okay, let's go ahead, click open, and you can see as right here preloading. It will take a little bit time. We can kind of map it with all, but I would say go to 100% on a picture. That way you won't take any what was before, so we'll go just to what needed, you know, for the image. It's probably best way to do. Okay, let's go ahead, let's click OK, and this time just click OK again. Let's preview what we have here, and you can see we have this beautiful mountain. Look on the details on this mountain. There you go. We can come a little bit closer, like maybe around here, and if we preview, you can see we have very nice details on this. Of course, we can shrink a little bit more if we need it, but I think right now it's fine. So we're done with the shape. You see how easy it is to do this shape here. Next, we definitely need to add some more interesting materials. So at this time, we did not do this in previous tutorials. We now start exploring something new. And we work with materials. We'll need to select our terrain. And you notice we have it materials, kind of preview in object aspect, all this stuff. We did before preload some materials, but now we want to edit. And we have it several ways we can access. We can just right click on terrain, says edit materials. We can click on a gear, or sometimes just double time click on this material object, and you can see it's open material editor. By the way, by default, first time when you start, you will be in this what called basic material editor. It's a very nice and simple way to do, but it does not provide all options I want to utilize. So for us, just click on this advanced material editor button, which will bring you to this interface. And of course, you can stretch, make this interface better, bigger, so we can access all of these properties. Later in our series, we will explore more about material editor, look on all these properties, different type of materials, PBR, two-side, mix, and all this stuff. But right now, just follow along with these tutorials if you're not familiar. And as we're going, I will try explain just those sections that we're going to touch. So first, let's go look on our color. And we can see right here, we have all these different types. And also this is different mode. If you click down on the mode, you can see it's have it constant, mapped picture, procedure, color, natural grain. I like to use natural grain. It's one of the latest for the Vue native materials, which allowed us to take two different colors, mix them naturally, kind of through the fractal, and make them look very, very cool. So the first what I'm going to do, it is creating texture for underlay. If you're familiar with Photoshop layers, sometimes you have it one layer put on top another is how you stack them. Something similar here we're going to do. And this is our base layer that will go like on the bottom. And because it's base, grass growing on the ground, so it's obviously will be our ground. And later we may put grass and other stuff. For this, let's select colors. We have a choice here between two colors. It's where I kind of start working. And because I want darker, I will create first lighter a little bit color, but I want to go a little bit more with a brown color. And next will be darker color. We go to kind of maybe like around there, a rocky dark color. Okay, let's create here. We can click this button, refresh, and you can see here we have it color. We can play with roughness, contrast, and balance and distortion. And of course, we have it preview in our windows. So we can kind of click, and if it does not refresh, it's what I disable a little bit after refresh in mine. You have the options you can enable after refresh when you can right here click after update. Then whatever you do, it will after updating for you. You don't need to click. Sometimes it's nice, but if your card is slow, maybe you don't want after refresh because you modify a lot of options and you don't want constantly application refreshing on a and so you want just after you're done click. But I will enable after refresh for now so we can follow and see what's going on. Okay, we can increase a little bit roughness, distortions. Let's pop up them right here. And I think you know what, let's go a little bit darker. There you go. I think this look more interesting, and you can see it's give it this not even look, and that is our base. Next, I want to add some maybe greenery. I don't know what are we going right here. For example, you see where's those cracks kind of going, where's the weather and water maybe washed down. So we want to change some of this, maybe create them darker color. Let's for this create a new layer. To create new layer, we're going in our material editor on the right where we have it. This kind of like open new page. We'll click on this, and you notice right here it's creating new layer. So it's add for us this layer. Before we jump and modify colors, similar to what we did before, we can look around. We have it create alpha map, which says where we place this stuff, and we can do through the colors, through our procedures colors, and you can see right here we can click and modify this overall color. Or other options, if you see visibility, we can click and select special highlighter. So this is highlight color, which help us very easy to see, because sometimes your colors may be matching or other things and hard to distinguish where they are kind of positioning. With these highlighters, we can easily see them. So inside the view, we can modify positioning of the materials with multiple ways. Besides, we have it here, presence, where you can say what altitude, slope you want to put all this stuff. And as well, we can apply to the functions. But we're going to do a little bit different way. We're going to utilize our alpha, and because it will give it us a little bit more interesting understanding how the layers also laying on top. So the mode, we're going to switch to mapped picture. And you notice as we select mapped pictures, it again says, hey, what do you want? Preload, and same things as we did before. We click on the window browser and we're going, what I want to do is select this flow. See this image flow. Let's go ahead, open. And now we have an image, but it does not look, see how it does not map it properly. And because it's a mapping as the world, so to all world, but we have just one single object. So this is mounted is just an object, and to do this we need to switch our mapping world from world standard mapping mode from world standard to object parametric. And as we change, look, it's like a magic now you can see where the flow transparency happen. Of course, in my case, I want opposite. I want be transparency here and non-transparent on the flow. So for this we can modify inside our image how it's mapped. And here we have it, we can rotate left, right if needed. We don't need it right now. We can have an image, and also we have this inverse. If we click on inverse, see how it's changed, and now it's inversed. So this time we can disable our highlighter and we can work with some of those elements. In this case, we'll go back to color. We'll select to natural grain, and the natural grain, what I want to do, select first color, maybe like a greenish, and second color darker green, kind of almost like a grass, maybe, you know, when water going down, something like that. I think this is look kind of interesting. And of course we can play, you can play a little bit more around. You know what, let's go with this one, make a little bit happier color, like maybe yellowish kind of, so it's a little bit more blend with other elements, and you can see how we applied. The notice alpha, it's mean the transparency, what we used to on this. But beside, you have it also here what called alpha boost, and it's take all this transparency for all layers. So for example, if we're going all the way down, you can see how it's almost disappear. So you can control all layers. In this case, if you think that is too strong, you can always just take and make muted kind of like almost all layer down. Okay, that was nice, but we also have some other options there. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. So for this, same as before, we'll just go click, create new layer. And by the way, as we create this, let's rename it. We just double tap click, and we'll just call grass, okay? So this one, we'll do the same things. We'll go select mapped pictures, click right here, select deposits, and notice deposits will be a little bit on the bottom, and object parametric, so it's worked perfectly for us. See where's deposits going around here. We can again kind of inverse them. So if you see on the top, I don't know if I like on top because they will cover a little bit of our grass. You know what, let's inverse back. Yeah, I think this one look a little bit better. And we can also just zoom out and you can see it's covering around this area. So let's think what color we want there. Maybe a little bit also kind of greenish. I don't know. Yeah, let's try this. So we'll go ahead, select the natural grain. And again, if you lost, remember you have it your marker, so you can kind of preview and see where is this color will go. So this alpha, where they're going around there. So if you switch this way, you can see it will go similar about area. So it's leave it lower. You know, maybe leave it there. Yeah, I actually like this. it's hard to make your mind when you create. And that's what nice things about this. You can go create, and if you don't necessarily need to follow, you can create your own ideas in this case. Okay, when you like with this layer lay down, and by the way, you don't necessarily use this map. You can almost draw anything by yourself. You can create it by hand and using. What are we using right now? It's called distribution maps or distribution placement for the materials, or later we're going to also use it for the ecosystem. And you did not yet meet what ecosystem is, and we'll do that. Okay, let's go a sublayer. I'll call subgrass. And you know what? It is kind of like it on the top, but we can also select this up and down layer, and we can move this layer below. So now you can see the layer actually reside below our grass layer. Okay, let's blend a little bit more together. We uncheck our blending, and oh, look on this. That is look cool. But we'll go and change a little bit. So we'll go select kind of like this color, and let's go a little bit more darker color. So we have it quite a bit interesting contrasting going on here. And as we preview, you can see they start blending much more interesting, I think. It's become nice looking island. Okay, so we created this way. I think we're missing something on this island. First, what we're missing, it is water. And because we're missing water, I want to create a same material on the bottom like our rocks. Let's go click on our default. And you'll notice right here, we have also options like camera and other things. Let's click on a camera. As we click, you'll notice we take a snapshot of this material and place it in our storage. It's a temporary storage, but we can use this. Okay, we'll go click OK, and be sure you click OK. If you click cancel, all your work is gone. So be sure you click on OK. Next, we'll click on the ground, and on the ground, we'll double open. And now we'll just need to click on this icon, and look what's happening. The material that we save it, we can very easy apply. It's stored in our special area like vault. And from there, we can actually reuse. Let's make a little bit faster and easy way to do. And of course, you can have a complex material stored there, or simple like it's what we did here. Okay, now we're done with this. I think we want to create water. And for this, we'll just go to our layer, top left, and you can see we have plain rain, snow. We want this one big drop, water. And it's creating this water layer. Of course, it did something. You see the foam because it gets closer to our mountain. And we don't want this. We actually, let's move this hand a little bit up. And we'll want to move a little bit up like this. I don't know if I like this. Okay, let's go a little bit down around here. But we have this foam happening all over places. So we can modify our foam, and we can modify through the materials. I think we'll look before in the first video. When we open, we go to the foam and we increase alpha boost. So if you prefer this way, or you can go inside the C, double time click open properties. And inside here, we can uncheck use global, and you can modify the form and all this effect here. So right there, form along this, we can say depth. Let's drop down depth to about 4 meters, and we'll decrease amount. Click OK, and see how much the foam reduced, but we still have this beautiful foam on the edge. I think that will work better. We also can go ahead and now bring water a little bit more down. Well, maybe we need to reduce even more foam lower. Another things what we can do, another trick, remember this is all what you're creating. So we can take this terrain and just bring terrain a little bit up. About this. Let's go drop down. I don't want to drop on a sea because right now it's floating on a sea. Actually, I want to bring and drop down to our ground. We can do this way, or you also just can go on a Z type 0 and is place it to the ground on a 0, so we can do a lot of ways. Okay, let's select our C. And our C, I think it's still a little bit low. Okay, oops, right here. Let's go bring it just slightly up. And I also looking right this image. I think this maybe work better. But you know what? It is, you can see very clearly, yes, our terrain, our ground need to be changed, yeah, because it does not look right. Let's open here and modify maybe from this color. We're going down a little bit darker, greener. Let's see if this, yeah, that one will work a little bit better, I think. Of course, we can color and matching other ones. Okay, let's click OK. And with our C, I still don't necessarily like it, how it's look. Let's go back to our material, default water here. And if you see, we're going to transparency. These are another new options we're going to open. And inside transparency, we have properties for our water. The important properties, what I'm looking at is depth. Look, right now, 70 meters, very clear water. Okay, so I'm going to reduce depth. And as we're reducing, transparency is decreasing. And so we don't see that much deep in. We can play a little bit around this, and we'll do a little bit more after, because we want to keep it little transparency, but we don't want to show all the way bottom one. So in this case, if we do, it should create nice. Okay, that is look beautiful. I don't like these bumps, like these waves. So we're going and reduce depth of the bumps. Let's go to 0.4. And now it's a little bit more clear. Yeah, I like this better. Okay, let's click OK. We have it our island. We have it our foam. Now let's put it some plants on here. And Vue, it's also have a great, it's like almost, I think it's one almost program. It's the Plant Factory. Plant Factory allowed us to create a plants that is fully livable, almost I can say, because they can grow. You can apply edge to them. They can thrive or depend on weather condition. They can move in a weather condition. They also have a different seasons. So it's a, you can create like living almost fully planet in this case, which work with what you're programming. So we won't necessarily going to use those plants now creating. We will do in the next videos. We'll cover all of the Plant Factory and we'll create a lot of different stuff, but we will utilize some of the plants that was created before. And to place the plants, we can do or by singles. And what I mean by singles, right on the left side, you can see plants. If we right click, we open the selections and let's just select the palm. Okay, this one need to be preloaded. Let me see which one. This one maybe? Banana palm. Okay. So I'll just double time click and it should be one palm right here. Ba-bam, we have it our one palm. But you know what? The island is so big and the palm is so small. See, it's just stuck in the water. Okay, we can bring up, drop. And if I try to populate with just palms or any other plants, it's take forever to do this way manually. So we don't want to do this. Yes, we want to somehow automate. And this is what we call ecosystem. Ecosystem is allowed us with the environmental and everything to populate objects on our area. So like right here, we have it our island. And next, what I want to do is populate stuff on this. Okay, I'm just bringing water a little bit down. I'm not sure if I like this hard line, but let's put plants there and see what's happening. So for this, we'll create, select our terrain. We'll double time click our material editor and we're going to add new layer. And this layer, we're going to switch from simple material down to ecosystem and particle. So as we open, you can see it switches. Have this green tree and I call new layer echo. So let's go call this trees. Next, we need to specify what kind of plants we want in this layer. For this, we'll go click on General tab. And notice right here, have an ecosystem populations. And we can actually populate with almost a lot of stuff. If we click on add, you can see a rock, plants, objects, and some other stuff. We don't want to worry about rocks and other things. So right now we want to add plants, and as we open, you can see it's giving me selections. What I found best way to do it is select different type of the species plants. One is look kind of boring, it's same plant, but if you select the different ones, they actually look very nice. So in this case, what I'm going to do, it is, okay, oops, select maybe these ones. Okay, let's select this, and if you need it, hold down which one, Control key, and you can select multiple, like 1, 2, those ones. What other ones we should select? We can select Bruce Price, this one maybe, and depend on what area you want it. Pine tree, just for fun. Some of this is beautiful trees. Let's go this one, selecting. So I'm just selecting a bunch of different trees. When we're done with this, what we wanted is go right here and click on select. Notice it says the quality of TPF with the plant factory, because it's have some legacy trees, and those is simple. They don't have some all options and all this grow and all these other elements. They're very simple and they're okay, but the plant factory is very highly detailed, and because of this, it's kind of tell us, hey, using those ones, just warn there are high details, which is okay. We'll just click it okay. And right there on the bottom, you can see preparing ecosystem. What it does, it's preloading those plants that we're selecting, or object if you want it, inside the memory application, so it can reuse. But it's preloading just instant one. It doesn't preload all of them. When it start populating, it's actually will take all of these plants and make variations. So it's kind of not just a one same plant. It does not look exactly the same. It will be species of these plants. And as we're creating, you can see they will create total different variations of them, which is kind of cool. Right here by default, as we fill up and put it, and you can see the scale of the plants and presence, how many. Now, what we can do, if we click populate, it will take all of these plants, take a lot of, and will populate all over island. Well, it's not necessarily what I wanted to do here, because first they're like plant all over places. And if we actually look out, let's zoom out, you can see it's placed them all over. It's not what I wanted. I want to put them in just specific areas. And here it's come up our density control. So let's go click on the density, and notice we have it variable density. We have other elements, scaling, all this stuff. So let's play with this. First, what I want to do, it is see where the plants will go. For that, let's clear our plants, and we also will enable highlighter. And I'll just switch color for this highlighter. So this is showing me where those plants will be populated. Let's show example. If I go with presence, it's where positioning can be, and says let's take this altitude about 2.02, maybe around here. And you can see as it's display on a map, it's showing where it will go. Okay, let's go a little bit more to the top maybe. So it will be cutting right there. Okay, let's set, we can readjust, and you can see right in parametric material it's showing how about going. We'll just go all the way altitude. What I want to do, I want to utilize density. We'll go with variable density. And now we're going to scary place. Scary, for those who does not know, it means we're going to use the function editor. One thing I was thinking avoiding in this video to use any function editor, but another one's, you know what, let's go just dive all the way and see who can swim. So in parametrics, we'll right click and go to edit functions. You remember on the first video, I told we have multiple layers. Yes, we have first creation, second this editors, and now we're like on the third level where we have all of these nodes. Okay, let me show you what's going on in these nodes. We have a different type of nodes or functionality included input and output, on our left where we have it search. You can also right click and select them from pop-up menu. On our left side here, we have it our input nodes, which is tell where it's positioned for each pixel or other things. So normals, time, you have it animations, altitude, slope, all this, and you can put even more. Next, you can create all of these processors, and currently, remember, we have it our colors. So if we click on colors, you can see we assign specific color. But what we're looking at, it's right here where it says color, and you can see we have it density, scaling, and alpha. So what do we want to do? We want to connect one to our density. For this, right click, and we're going to texture map and select projected. So it's actually take image, it's kind of project on a top. It's what we want to do. We click create, and next let's click in our image. On the bottom we have it our properties, and this is properties change depend on what we're selecting. But because we select projected, we have our image similar to what we done before. We kind of click on an image, and again we can also a little bit faster if we click on personal. Sometimes it will display there, but we're going, and you know what, which one we should select? I think let's go and our flow right here. We'll click OK. And next, it says color normal. Yeah, we just want color. And let's take this color output and connect to our density. You not always can enable to connect that way, because you can see the blue is still numbers. This it says color, so you can connect color to the number, and we also have it notice we automatically add conversions. So it's kind of cool how it's work. But again, you not always will able. Sometimes with like this red, it says vector, and vector may have it 3 or 4 coordinates, depend. And based on this, some you cannot connect. Like if I say it's normal and go right here, you see it does, but it's put automatically the compressor. So it's actually take it and split 3 to 1. So we don't necessarily want this one, but it's nice. It can do for us. Okay, so we connected density to ours with color go to brightness. And notice what is happening. See this coloring? It's where populations will happen, which kind of very cool, because it's meaning with this density, we know here is high density, and where is not cover, it's no density. Okay, let's go ahead, click OK. And now we can uncheck this button. Next, be sure mapping set object parametric. And let's just click populate. I still want to readjust a couple of things because right now it's a huge size plants. It's not what necessarily I want to do. But this is actually showing me its work. Okay, we'll click here. We'll pop up little bit density, go to scaling, and take a scaling down to 0.5. We'll click populate now again. So it will populate it. Let's click OK on this. And take our camera, which is very close. You remember that is a problem. And we can zoom a little bit out and preview our island. Look what's going on. We have the beautiful plants just going in those areas. But problem with plants, they're populating down in the water, and we don't necessarily want that. So let's go ahead and remove from this. To do this, we need to open again our terrain editor. Okay. And remember, I played a little bit with presence. So this is what we need to do. We need to take this presence and bring about here. Click populate. You can play a little bit more around this, but you can preview also in your window, and you can see how on top they're located. So we don't need it. Let's go down below. Okay. And you can preview in live and see where do you actually like it. The interesting thing, so as we're doing this, it's kind of almost hard line. And I don't know if I like this hard line. So to avoid hard line, we needed tail. We want kind of like easy, smooth in and out. And below you can see fuzziness top and bottom. So if we increase fuzziness on the bottom, it will add this kind of small layer. So we have it more dense here. And as we're going, it's get smoother and smoother. And you see by the density, where it does create a little bit better. Of course, on the top, I don't know if I like all the way on the top, so we'll just go ahead and take top from this area, right, bring it down here, and populate. In this case, we won't have it on the top, we'll just have it like almost on the middle. At this time, you can play a little bit around, see which one you like it. I think some plants look a little bit ugly, so we can replace a little bit, rework some of those plants, but you can see how they're nicely going in those area. You know what, let's drop even more lower. I think a little bit lower. Woo, too low, too low, too low. Okay. Probably about here, 75. Yeah, I think this is, yep, that is about right place for the plants to go. Okay, as we're looking around in the present, we also can modify a few things. For example, we can go ahead and say, I don't want this slope, I don't want to create on this degree. For example, if I want on the flatter, I can say, let's go just example, put here and populate, and you can see, ooh, it's the wrong slope, so let's go ahead, populate this way. So a little bit more on a flatter area and less on a steep, you know, like for the grass. So you have a lot of experimental you can do here, and we'll just remove some of those edges. So we'll just a little bit more on the flat areas, which is good. Same things. I almost always like to use the little bit fuzziness so it does not create this kind of ugly look. Okay, let's go back to our density. I will pop up a little bit density up, reduce scaling slightly, and let's click populate. There you go. Now we have a little bit more interesting. You know, the rock maybe look, I think the rock a little bit more greener look. I don't necessarily if I like this. And this is nice things. When you look and color just does not match yet. Yeah, for us. So we can go back to right here where the default, and we can rename this base. Yeah, we can go click on the base, and as a base we can add a new material right there, and we'll call, what do we call? Let's go call grass base. It's something else, and we'll go at this grass base, and I'm just going to use it overlay. You know what, click on your ecosystem and click clear, so we have a little bit more clearer view what we're going on, what we're doing here. Okay, on our grass base, let's see what we can do. The one what I want to do is in our effects right here, we're going inclusion. We want simple materials, world standard. Okay, so yeah, everything is set. And we want to go to presence on this, and we want to modify a couple. So one, I want to take top and leave it a little bit on the top with fuzziness. So if we preview, you can see right here, see how it's look. Next, let's go, we did a little bit with the slope, yes? If we take a little bit slope, cut this, you can see, so cut it. So let's just more dramatic. Okay, we'll just add to the edge. And sometimes I like to do this so you can preview how it's, and see the slope. I don't know this way. Okay, let's go try other way. See how it's will, if I like better. It does not. Yeah, I think this one maybe. I'm just looking on a slope. So this is more on a slope and less on a flat. And that is probably, yeah, let's go this way. Let's go more down. That's why I'm most interested in this. So we'll add a little bit to the slope. We'll go add fuzziness here. We also can have it orientations, which is kind of cool if you have it like snow and snow melted on one side, so you can fix this way. Okay, we create this. You know what? Let's drop lower. I think it's like almost need to have it. Yeah, about right here maybe. There you go. That is better. Okay, so this is where we start putting our green grass. And to match, I will actually like to put back our ecosystem. So we'll populate it. In this case, when we start changing color, I want somewhat matching with the colors of our plants. So it start kind of almost get into that. And I think these plants still be a little bit big. Remember, we have it like 1 kilometer. So those are huge plants. Okay, let's go now to our grass. Basic, we go color, we switch to the natural grain, and we'll switch one to the like darker green. And let's go another ones, maybe around there, maybe like this. Yeah, and you can see it's kind of a little bit work way better now. Okay, same, we can play a little bit more with grain, distortion, so you can preview how it will look. But I think this has actually come up better now than before. Kind of more, I think, blend with the plants. You know, the palms, I'm just looking at this and thinking, what is will look better this way? And right now it's a smooth, we don't have it any bumps. So if you also want kind of fake grass, you can go inside the bumps. We can go to procedural, and on the procedurals, if you just double time click, it will open different pre-made already. So we can select pre-made one and just leave it this kind of bumps, and it will create a little bit bumpy material look. It does not like change shapes. It's just only when calculating luminosity, and you can see right here it's create almost like kind of green cheese stuff. So it's water can add a little bit more detailization to this. I think this will work a little bit better that way. Okay. Ooh, we've done a lot of stuff here today. I think right now let's play with the lights, because I think this is look kind of fun. It's not always will look the best when you don't set proper light, because lighting it's about 80 to 60% how good your image look, and this is very not flattering lights. What I like to do is create golden hour. We'll take lights and moving, just leave it like below. We can also put it a little bit lower, create this what they call golden hour, like a best. And also notice when I rotate, I'm looking on the shadows in here, because shadows it's what give it us kind of depth, and you can see we're creating on an area. Also, we're utilizing right now the model photometrics, and photometrics it's a very nice accurate, but when I create illustrations, I actually like to switch to different. And for this we'll go atmosphere editor. We kind of look before a little bit. Let's disable animations because we don't go to use this. But in the lighting right here, you can see we have it different types. In the standard global, yes, that is fine. We'll just keep it that one for now. But also on the top, atmosphere is photometric spectral. Let's go to the switch standard spectral and let automatic adjust, and you can see how it's changed. So this will give it a little bit more dramatic lights. But personally, when I create something like illustrations and other things, I like that one better. But it's again personal. You can try play around with this. And because we change, we need modify. Before modify sun, we need go in the main camera, double time click, open properties, and uncheck this after exposure, because that will mess up all the time, because you see how lights change. The reason is camera try to software figure out like automatic exposure, which is not always is accurate, and I don't like it. And now we can play a little bit better with our lighting. There you go. See how more saturated and bolder colors. So it's look way better, I think, this way. Of course, we can kind of readjusting. Let's take our main camera. If I can select properly, we move more far away because I want to have this island look. Repositioning our camera like right here. There's our boring island, and boring because nothing is, no action happen. We need to add clouds, atmospheres, and maybe even fog to this. So let's go back to our atmosphere editor, and in the atmosphere editor we'll go inside the cloud. Actually, let's go to the light first, sorry. And inside light, we need change ambient light. And I just right click, edit color on ambient light, and we'll put it a little bit darker, desaturated, which is give it a little bit more volume to our lighting. Next, let's go to sky, fog, and haze. And here we want to actually increase the aerial perspective. So right now it's 0.1. Let's pop up to about 2, about this. And you can see how it will add haze. And this is what give it kind of perceptions of the distance to us. The When we look, what do we lost? We lost of the contrast, amount of details, and saturation. So those ones tell us about distance, and that's what we've done here. You see how we change, and it's already look kind of interesting. We also can increase a little bit of fog, haze. This is just to create a little bit more look far away. The glowing right here, it's happened because our fog, if you don't like it, you can take fog a little bit down. And that will remove some of this glowing on a horizon because this has come from the fog. But you can play around, see if you like it. Let's go now to the clouds, and I'm going to add a cloud. For this, I'm going to just select big canvas. You can download it any clouds. And by the way, I have a lot of atmospheres and a lot of presets materials on my Patreon. So link down below, be sure you go check this one. Okay, big canvas, it's creating this way. And you know what, they're very high altitude. How I like adjust them, if we scroll down, you can see right here we have layer. Let's take this and bring them a little bit lower. So the altitude to bring them a little bit down. Okay, next, this will be my whispering clouds. It's what I call, and whispering because I want to take the density, and I want to take density up right here down maybe to like almost 1. Notice what's happened. We have those kind of like whisper clouds, and this is what's happening in atmospheres. If you look, it's never the same, it's never identical. So you want layering up stuff there. This is one. Let's go click again, and we'll select another ones, but and this time if you look, you have tons of different. What this one? Cloud front. Yeah, let's go. I like cloud front. That one is always, look how it's look. It's look very nice, the cloud front. And let's add always this new cool details. But island does not still look a little bit boring. Okay, it's fine. We'll just click OK. We accept that's this. And we'll do another new things. And I hope I did not overload you. If you think it's too much to do, that is okay. You can always pause, rewind, watch again, or just pause and do it your steps and just keep it. Remember this pause and go back forward button work very good in this case. Well, for this, we'll go to add different clouds. And right here, you can see we have a meta cloud. And meta cloud allowed us to add single clouds. Well, we can actually take all clouds and specify to the zone, but we won't do right now. That is will be too much. But we'll just right click on our add meta cloud, and you can see right here we have it all different. Let's just select one, add cloud layer. We have it add meta cloud from preset. Let's go select this, and as we open, you can see we have it all these different clouds. The difference between them, you see there, it's just the clouds. It's just one single cloud. So and then we can readjust positioning and almost put them as we want it. Like we can put just see right here, we can put it up front a little bit of our island, make our island almost like getting inside the fog, hiding around, just placing. Okay, you know, we can make even bigger, drag, stretch right there, and I can even shrink them. This is just like an object, and look, see, we have a beautiful location. Okay, let's put maybe behind island. This one we can play a little bit more and see what kind of you like it, which one will work a little bit better in your case. And you know what, maybe we'll raise slightly up, like right here, like it's stuck on a mountain, you know. Oh, look, we have a volcano just made it. You know what, I a little bit don't like resolution on those, so let me go again. We'll just go click, and we'll just select rough one, because I think rough will look a little bit better matching with other ones. Okay, same, we can go behind. Let's just do right there. Put it behind our, like this. There you go, look at this. I think it's look kind of interesting. We can also just take them and put it up. Let's see if they look better on the top. Yeah, you can play around with them. Or we can go and put it up front of our. Ooh, that will look cool also. Okay, let me know, what do you decide? Where are you going to put them? Are you going to put on a back, on a middle? And if they're too density, you can open the material right here with the settings. You can go to actually lighting effect on the density. We can increase low density. Let's leave it like this. Cloud settings, it's look nice. We can reduce cover and density. That will make them a little bit more fluffy, like right there you can see. So they will start kind of matching the clouds above. Okay, in this case we can click OK. Okay, where's my mouse? It is right here. We can click OK and take this, bring a little bit up and place it around here. There you go. Just play around, see where you want to do, but I think this already make kind of very cool looking. Okay, let's look on our main camera, and there we're going to play, maybe put it up like right there and look slightly down on our island, because I want to preview my island. It's almost like you're flying maybe in the air, which will do animations, but there you go. Look on this. We have this beautiful island. The clouds look a little bit grainy. I think these look grainy. So let's fix this. Atmosphere editor. We have cloud front. It's what we want to do. And we want to increase feathering, altitude variation, reduce shadow density. And look, this is problem right here, density. 700 is kind of cool. You can reduce a little bit to the 100, which is make them a little bit less grainy. By the way, this is in density in almost every field. You can type way higher numbers, but sliders allow you only to go to 100. So it's kind of safe range, but you can modify. There you go. I think this is kind of look cool. Of course, we can play a little bit more with the sunlight and shadows. And I think if we create on sun, let me play with the sun a little bit more. So this is more like daytime. Okay, and I think still be, if we go lighting on the side, like around there, that should create this kind of cool, dramatic look. Well, you know what? I think I already overload you with all of this. We have what, hour or something like this. It's long, but I want just for you to see how depth with program is, and it's not very hard to do. When you start learning, you start piece by piece learning all the small details, and after this you can start building your own very cool looking scenery. And different is, and I know that right now AI is very popular, and I love AI. You can look on my channel, you see what I'm doing. But as I said before, the interesting difference between AI and creating this, that when you're generating with AI, you're accepting vision of the AI. It's not necessarily your vision. It's what AI give it to you. And you're like, oh, it's look cool. It says, but here you're actually creating your own vision. You can adjust every small parameter, and it's what you see. It's what you can create. It's the reason why I like this probably better than AI. Well, to render, we need to go right click on the render. Be sure we in a final. You can set your resolution. I won't go high for the purpose of this tutorial, but I want to be sure it says at least at final. I will render on the internal on mine and render to the screen. All is enabled. We click OK and click on the render. Oh, look on this beautiful island we're creating. Of course, this is a preview and also highlight, but look on the shadows and everything. That is look very nice island. Of course, I will encourage you not just stop here. Try also different atmospheres. Go to atmosphere editor and switch from standard to photometrics if you want a more realistic look. It will change some of the settings, of course. You can see how it's brighter or other things change. Then you maybe want to play a little bit more with the positions of the sun. Just make it a little bit darker. You know, just play around, see which one you think interesting. And right here you can see how much it's changed. It's have more natural lighting distribution. But in this case, you can play, see which one you like it, play with positioning, play with settings, and don't afraid to experiment. Well, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Share your work. And remember, you can always join Patreon for the free resources, or for the pay one, you have it way more for this. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you next time.